couldn't hear me.
Let's do that again.
Okay.
Thank you for the no sound, Bro Rock and Robin. I apologize, you guys. Usually I start these lives off with a music or a video welcoming everybody in, letting you all welcome each other in. We're going to do that, but before we get there, I want to play a video I created for SixUp, especially, and also for all victims of no, your AirPods weren't broken, SixUp. All victims of online harassment, bullying, stalking. We've heard a lot of stories from people, etc. We've heard a lot of stories from victims, not only a lot in the Summer Wells case, but in so much throughout true crime. We've talked to people who have suffered through this and gone through this scenario. So I had to use stock video. I'm sorry, you guys. Mostly the song is what I wanted to share. I did my best. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to play that real quick. We're going to come back in. We have a quick statement to make, and then we're going to bring SixUp online here, and we're going to have a really powerful and important conversation that needs to be had. And please, I hope this works. Here we go.
There is nothing more important than your peace in the end. You may be a soldier, but you're not steel, you bend. Your heart is large, but you trust much too fast. You wanted to do good, but got destroyed at last. You just want to help, so you create an account. There's a little girl gone missing, you want to figure it out. You join a few communities who care about missing kids. You post a few comments about society getting rid of those who harm children or take them away. Everyone has opinions, there's always something to say. So you post and you comment in a space that feels safe. You are chosen as a mod because you walk with grace. There's nothing more important than your peace in the end. You may be a soldier, but you're not steel, you bend. Your heart is large, but you trust much too fast. You wanted to do good, but got destroyed at last. As time goes on and the drama gets hot, you watch in shock as your friends do not turn out to be the people you thought they would be. You look all around you and no one can see. The emperor has no clothes and you wake from your sleep. The person you respected, there's no secret she keeps. You start seeing manipulation and a stream of lies. Out of panic you start planning on how to cut ties. There is nothing more important than your peace in the end. You may be a soldier, but you're not steel, you bend. Your heart is large, but you trust much too fast. You wanted to do good, but got destroyed at last. But you share too much. They know your house and your face. They know all about your family. You've shared pictures of your place. They know the names of your children, the place where you work. You just wanna go dark, but you feel like a jerk. They catch wind of your doubt and the attacks tear you down. They call your job and all your friends in town. It's this moment you realize that you made the wrong choice. You trusted There's nothing more important than your peace in the end. You may be a soldier, but you're not steel, you're bend. Your heart is large, but you trust much too fast. You wanted to do good, but got destroyed at last.
That was a blip. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It did take a little while to create, but it was meaningful. It was important for us to share. I think it's not just SixUp story. SixUp is a powerful story. I'll be before we get started with the SixUp, I want to show you guys the reason we're doing this tonight. I got triggered. I'll be honest, I got triggered when Nana and other locals started getting attacked.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to share something with you guys that I haven't shared in the last 3 months. We've been going through something similar. And I wasn't going to talk about it. I wasn't going to share it with you all because our channel, our community doesn't want drama. So even when we're impacted, I don't want to talk about it. We just ignored it and moved on. What I want to share, Jen also has a statement. I'll let her talk.
I don't know about a statement. I haven't prepared anything.
Or comments. I'm going to share something that happened recently. Someone went real life on me, tried to destroy my life, our livelihood. I can't share a whole lot because I am currently in the middle of trying to investigate a little more details, considering legal action at some point once we can prove what I believe is true. I got more proof last night watching someone talk about it. So I think I know what happened, and I'm done ignoring it. So we're going to pursue that. That to me was shocking. Like someone would actually try to destroy our lives, our real life lives, just because we are covering missing persons cases, just because we're trying to search, we're trying to do good. And then it made me think of SixUp's story. And her story is so much worse, you guys, like tip of the iceberg, like what we're going through, what we started going through, what she went through. And that's why I want to share her story, because so many people have told us these things have happened to them too. And her story is important to put out there so you all can learn from it and learn how to protect yourself. We're creators, so we expect this to happen. When this happened to her, you'll hear her story. She was not a creator at the time. Moderator, subscriber, just like all of you. Subscribers get attacked, which is insane to me.
And non-subscribers.
People who aren't even subscribers.
Which is something I want to talk about.
And another thing that impacted our life, Jen will talk about as well. Go ahead.
Okay, I might get upset. And my voice might sound weird because I've been sick, but I have not wanted to talk about this. I've not wanted to talk about this, but since all this started, I decided I should bring it up. And you agree?
Yes.
I hope. One thing that has been talked about our family is something about our child. Now, you can talk about Brian and I, you can talk about creators, people in the public eye, but when you talk about children who have nothing to do with YouTube, who won't even like show their faces on our channel,
they
or
barely
anything,
use social media.
that really bothers me. From what I understand, and you know, there are certain creators that bring this up once in a while, but from what I understand, somehow there's a picture going around of my daughter's bedroom from 11 years ago. And I don't want to say what the rumor is or whatever, but I've just got to say it's false. And the picture was from when our daughter was 15. And I'll just say she was allowed to decorate her room any way she wants. That's all I'll say. But basically, they took a picture from when our daughter was underage and somehow decided that that's from now. It's not. It's not. That was 11 years ago.
How many years ago?
Our daughter, both of our daughters, do
Don't
not
share
live.
too much.
Oh, sorry.
No, you could share just more details.
They've grown up they're very successful. They have their own lives, and we're very close. We get together a lot. Is that okay?
They're both. We can say they're both very successful.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their very strong beliefs that have nothing to do with Satan. By the way,
Thank you. I wasn't gonna say, but yeah, it's a total lie. It's from a total lie based on something 11 years ago that was still a lie back then, basically, right?
of course.
But lately I've been upset because our friends, people in the community have been attacked,
Mhm.
and I believe that's wrong, of course. But when you attack children, now come on, what kind of person are
It's the one thing that's bothered
you?
Jen
We
a
don't
lot.
we
yeah.
don't attack children. I mean, the whole reason we do this is for children.
Mhm.
So, I love my girls. I'm a mama bear, so I had to say something, and I hope it stops after this.
It won't, but
It won't. But I just had to say it is a lie, and it's about my freaking child.
it's about
Sorry,
it's about
makes
her,
me mad. That's why I said I might get upset.
It's about her babies.
But I had to say that.
Our daughters are not. They're hardly on social media. I think they dropped their Facebook account.
Yeah, they
years
don't
ago.
even have their Facebook.
They don't like it. They don't like
No.
social media. They're not on like. Yeah, well, see, they attack locals too, who most of them aren't on YouTube either. So
Right.
it's
That's
just,
why I said like anybody to get attacked. It's
Yeah.
just in my opinion to attack a child, and that's just not okay.
Yeah, and I had some. Is that it? I'm sorry.
That's pretty much all I wanted to
Okay.
say.
I think it's an important statement to make, Jen. I think
Mhm.
it's you've held it in for a long time.
I
You
have.
haven't commented on it.
Mhm.
To our viewers, to our subscribers who hate drama, we understand. We don't want to talk about this. As you can tell, we've been attacked in a bad way recently,
Mhm.
and we've tried really hard not to talk about it. My goal tonight, cases like Summerwell's, when they get media attention, they do attract people like this,
Yeah.
people that exploit major tragedies. And it's not just the one person that we're going to focus on tonight because it's SixUp story, but there's a lot of creators like this. And when that happens, they get a lot of attraction from regular people who start going into the comments, becoming moderators. And
True.
SixUp, I'm going to let her tell her own story, but in the short end of it is the short version, and she'll expand a lot, I'm sure, is that she was involved. She was a supporter. She was one of those people, just like probably many of you, who support channels,
Right.
trust channels so much that they become a moderator, and they're in that community, and they believe in it, and they want to support missing persons cases, and by supporting those creators. And I want to be really clear, this is not a hit piece. Again, this is not about this creator we're talking about.
No, and that's one reason why I was having a hard time coming on here, because I honestly don't like drama.
No, but for all of you watching who are not creators, who are just regular YouTube viewers who take part in these communities, I want this interview to be a really important lesson to learn and how to protect yourself. If you're sharing personal information with people you think are your friends, just remember that friends online are not always long-term.
Right.
They can turn on you, and it's really important to learn from SixUp's story.
Right.
I know a lot of you who know about her channel. Maybe you clicked it and you watched like 5 minutes of her stuff, or maybe you watched a lot of her stuff and you made the decision you don't like that she's mad, or you don't like that she's hateful. You guys, when you hear the story, you're gonna understand the emotion that she has. You are going to understand. I didn't understand until I got to know her better. She got to know us better. I learned what her story was, and I'm surprised she hasn't gone even further than just creating a channel and exposing this. What she does is important. It's exposing this exploitation, this behavior. Her questioning us at the beginning, I don't even have a problem with it anymore, because every channel that covers these cases need to be audited by channels like SixUp Media and Tragedy Pimps Exposed. They need to have questions asked, and they need to make sure that you are being respectful of families, and you're being respectful of the victims. And that is so important. So it's okay to ask questions, and these channels need to ask questions. So no, without further ado,
Sorry if that was too much.
we're gonna bring SixUp here. Thank you so much, SixUp, for coming. We are gonna add her to the stage. Hello.
Hi, SixUp.
Hello. Hey guys, you guys got me emotional too. You're not the
Oh,
only
I'm
ones
sorry.
who were
Sorry.
emotional. No, this is an emotional. People do not realize how
No.
emotional that this can be. And I'm going to just say this starting out because I've repeated a lot. Thank you guys for having me, by the way.
Thank you.
It a lot of people don't understand it until it actually happens to them.
Right.
They can say, I sympathize, I whatever, but to really empathize with somebody, you have to have it happen to you. And I've seen it again and again. Yeah, unfortunately. And this is something that, continues to happen, but something that I just realized that happened like this week. It's been a really long week for me, and coming up, like me and Ryan have been talking, and he sent me, a little intro he did. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I don't want people to think this is a hate bond, for one.
Right.
I told Ryan that before. I also don't want people to think like, the hate bond thing, but I don't want people to think that this is about, it's not about the case. This is not about the case. This is something happening inside, like Ryan said just now, inside of these cases. And Ryan, you described it really well, like how it all started. And I just want to let everybody know, I told Ryan before I got here, we're kind of winging it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works out. Honestly.
I'm glad to be here. I do have, a couple things that I have. TPE sent me a list of, we have a real life list that we made a couple years ago, actually, like 3 years ago. And it's not been a real life list for Ziggy, just for Ziggy.
What is that?
It's just a list of times that Ziggy went real life, not just on me, but anyone she went real life on. TPE made this list years ago. She hasn't even updated it. And when you guys start hearing me, if I get to the point where I read through or show some of this list, you're going to be flabbergasted when you realize that the last couple of years haven't even been added on yet.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. We've heard from, people who said, I got attacked so bad on YouTube, in this case in particular, someone's case, that they just shut their channel down and they're like, I want nothing to do with it. And I don't know if they may be on your list. Honestly, I think most of them are probably are on the list.
Well, to tell you the truth, there's a lot of things that we don't even put on the list because it would be harmful to the victims. And to be go even further than that, like when you were playing that intro you made, which was beautiful, by the way, I thank you for that. But I don't like to look at myself as a victim of her. I hate it. I don't want to give her that. I don't want her to, but unfortunately, I am a victim of hers. And she has a long list of victims. And the reason why I continue to do what I do is because of that list of victims keeps getting longer and longer. And I would like to get to the point where there was no more list. That's it. No more list.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So to tell the story, it's always good when you tell a story. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and an end. And the beginning is easy, right? Because that's your beginning. That's how you got started. And I don't even know how you got involved. Was it related to the Summer Wells case? Was it just you found your channel? Like, how did that happen? How did you cross paths with her?
I had already been on YouTube. I had everybody that's on YouTube. If you are a chatter, you create a channel, right? So I had created a channel at that point, and I had it in my mind that I was going to be a person that audited the police. Actually, my name was SixUp Audit. So I already had it in my head that I wanted to create a channel.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, that's wild.
SixUp Audits. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I was already I was, especially missing children. Since around the time of Madeleine McCann, I was pregnant with my youngest son at that point. Since around that case, I had focused a lot on children. In my, I'm saying like when I would watch things, when I would get into cases, it was mostly children, and it was mostly children online. And hold on, I got a dog barking, but Adam Walsh too. Adam Walsh, his case, I felt like was exploited. And I noticed that at a very young age. And I
Yeah.
didn't like it. I didn't like all the things that people were doing online to exploit. 1 second. Sorry, she's the deaf one. If she
No.
hears,
We always have each
she's
other
gonna,
because our
I'm
ears.
sure Moon will chime in eventually.
yeah. But yeah, that's how I found her. I was just on YouTube watching a bunch of different channels that are in this sector to this day. And she came into my algorithm. I'm pretty sure that it was a specific creator. I won't mention his name, but it's one that had shared her first live. And I headed over, of course, like everybody else, to get all the news about how Don and Candace were horrible, right? And they were bad and all the things. And I right away had a parasocial relationship with Ziggy. She did a thing where she said that when she first started her channel, that she wanted to do things for people in addiction, which touched me because I'm somebody who's in recovery, who's been a peer support counselor. And she was saying all these things and also saying that she was very bad at being friends with females. And I thought, wow, well, I'm working on that in my recovery. I have resentments against females too. So I'll reach out to her and I'll give her an email and I'll say, hey, I'm going through this too. Maybe we can be friends. I can moderate for your channel, you know, help you out. I know you're going down there, getting ready to go down there, because she had been planning to. And that's how it began. And then the Tennessee trip is what was the reason. Everything that happened in the Tennessee trip, the first trip, was the reason that I was done.
Did you meet her on the Tennessee trip?
No.
Okay.
No, I was moderator for her channel, and Heels on the Ground, which is a group of other creators who exploit children as well. We're all going down there. And I had already started watching other call out channels that are like mine now. Okay. So I was watching these call out channels call out Heels on the Ground. And I was like, I don't want Ziggy to be like them, right? Don't want that to happen. We don't want her to turn into a child exploiter. That would be bad, right? So I started interacting with her, you know, talking with her about that and about how this upcoming trip, you know, that's what it was all about. She was going on the trip. I offered her camera equipment, said, when you go there, you should go to the sheriff's department and see if you can talk to the sheriff, all the things. And then when she got down there, what had happened was she lied to her moderators and her subscribers and told them that she did it. The first thing that happened is she went and met with Don and Candace and got a puppy that was too little to be taken, in my opinion. And I am a big fur baby lover. And I was like, oh no. And she's lying, right? And she named the baby Athena Moon. And I was like, oh, and it just sent me over I was already, you know, in my head, I was already done.
So SixUp, devil's advocate. I'm going to try to do that tonight. It's really hard for me, but I'm just going to play devil's advocate. If she did want to like save this puppy, what's the problem with it? Like, what is the bad part?
The puppy wasn't the problem. The puppy was not the problem. The problem was that she was willing to lie to people who were supporting her financially, supporting her by doing all the things for her, because Ziggy doesn't do anything. Okay.
What was the lie?
Moderators.
What was the lie in that particular case?
Well, she lied about she lied first and said she didn't have the puppy, and she did.
Oh, she lied about having the puppy to begin with.
We could all hear the puppy in the background. Okay. So that we were already starting to have an issue. And that night she went on another creator's channel, and I had messaged her and told her about another large creator, Chasing Truth, who had posted something. And I just sent her that link and said, hey, Chasing Truth is saying this and this and this about you right now. You're getting some heat. Maybe you should, you know. And before I could even finish, she was screaming at me through the microphone, telling me, don't fucking send me shit. Blah, 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 blah. And I said, no person is going to talk to me in that way, especially if you have lied to me.
Was that in private? That was in a private conversation?
No, this was on a public live stream. She attacked me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
she did that. She did that to us at the end in text message, but she likes to do voice instead of texting. So when we had our disagreement, it was private. It was a private text message, and I was revealing that I had talked to Andy's boss and what he told me. And when I told her that, she lost her shit. Like I had six messages in a row that were all voice messages, similar to what you described, screaming.
Yeah,
"How
there
could
was
you do this to me?"
there was so much, and this happened in a very short period of time. She was only in Tennessee for a couple days. She was lying when the bone situation happened. Like, she'll lie to this day and say that people didn't know she was coming. Yes, they did. Everybody knew. The whole internet knew she was going. We knew for weeks before she went. And when she got there, she went live from Warrior State Park right there. And everybody knew she was there. And I tried to tell her, you're embarrassing yourself with the bones. That guy knew. I didn't know anything about Fred at this point, but I knew that he was a liar, because there's no way that that man didn't know that those were not human remains. You know what I mean? And it was ridiculous to me. But I was even willing to, it was just a compilation of all the things at one time. So the day after, I think it was after she got home, I went live on my own channel, and the rest is history. Here we are.
But before that, so the build-up, though, I mean, you guys, how much time had you been a mod with her?
Maybe 2 months. She didn't have a channel that long. We got to think. She started her channel. Yeah, it wasn't very long. We were only acquaintances. I was probably only a mod, to be honest, maybe a month.
So you caught on pretty darn quick then.
Real quick. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's another reason why she hates me.
Oh my gosh. So in that time, though, so I'm sorry, chasing is like, really? Chasing Ziggy loves you? I didn't know that. The thing is, though, SixUp, she figured out enough about you in that time frame to try to cause as much damage as possible. How did she learn that information about you?
Well, she didn't learn anything. What she did was, I mean, she probably did, look on Facebook, because that's how she researches. She found one of my ex's old Facebooks. I didn't even have a Facebook. She had a moderator, and his name was Levin. He's still around, not a good guy. Watch out for him. But he admitted to me later that he was one of the ones, and there was a couple others that she was asking to dig for my information, pull my records, get my mugshots. She wasn't, by the way, when she finally did do her doxing on me, which was very shortly after I started my channel, she did it on the same channel that she screamed at me on. It was a 4-hour session of going through, showing me and my ex's mugshots, saying how we look like crackheads, showing where my ex's parents owned property, showing where my mother owned property, showing places that I worked, showing places that my mom, I don't even remember, you guys. There was so much stuff in that live stream, and of course it immediately got deleted, but I've got that too, unfortunately.
So that was supposed to be the tear down expose she did on you.
Yeah. Well, I was getting ready. Like you said, in the beginning, when I started my channel, I had already started it, wasn't really doing anything on it, uploaded a couple of shorts of Bullhorn Betty and Molly Go Lightly at that point. That was it. I had no plans to become a monetized channel. But as soon as she seen that I was gaining traction and I had 980 subscribers and was live about to monetize, she went live on her friend's channel, doxed me out, told that my current partner was in prison, and a bunch of everything that she could find, every single thing. And then most of it was made up, by the way, because that's what she does. She just
I was going to say, and everything
that
she could lie about, because like I said, that
yeah, she took the online, in your case, she took anything she could find on Facebook, mugshots, whatever. How much of that she exposed about you was truth versus just completely fabricated?
She showed a couple. I think she showed one charge that was actually a charge I had, which was a Cincinnati, Ohio charge for possession of an open flask which is open container, the most petty crime that you can have. She never showed my felony. She only showed mugshots. And mugshots are taken anytime you go to jail. It doesn't mean you got charged. Doesn't mean you can get moved from jail to jail, which I did a lot, because I would owe a fine and they would transfer me. They take your mugshot every time you go to a new jail. So she was presenting, and she still does to this day. She tells people that I had like 80 mugshots. I don't know how many I had, maybe 5. And she acts like, you know, I had 50 mugshots and I am the predator of all predators. She tells everybody that I have violent crimes, which I don't. I've never had a victim. I don't have one victim crime. All of my crimes are nonviolent. Yeah, that's pretty much how she, you know how she does.
Was it like a switch that flipped? Was it one moment? Because I think you kind of touched on it earlier. Was there a turning point? Was there a one moment where you guys are friends, you guys were getting along, and then the next thing you know, she's just doxing you and attacking you? Or was it just
even well, I want to say I don't even think I think that I was trying to be her friend. We weren't friends. Ziggy doesn't have friends. Okay. So we were not friends. We were acquaintances. I was a moderator for her channel. I had just started texting her a couple weeks before. And you know, supporting her in the way that I would give her a super chat. I was a member. I would you can go back to her first live streams before she got to Tennessee and all the way up to the Warriors Path Live. I am in that chat saying and defending her all the way up till that day, because I knew that she was I knew after the bones, I knew after the dog, I knew after everything that she was an exploiter and a fucking liar. She was a liar, and in the worst of it all, she didn't care about going down there and getting real content that people valued or wanted, you know, for a true crime channel. She wanted the drama. She wanted the 1,200 people in her live chat, you know, sitting there talking about Summer and her brothers being sex trafficked. That's what she wanted. And I seen it. And once I seen it, I couldn't unsee it.
Right.
And you hear a lot of people will say that to me after, like, they'll be like, oh my God, Six, like, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So unfortunately, it takes some people a little longer.
The bones was probably, it sounds like the bones was the moment where you were like, okay, this is BS. That was your flipping.
It was. Yeah. All of it together, the whole thing, and the fact that she wanted to go down there and talk to Fred. And I'm like, why do you want to go talk to Fred? Who the hell cares? And she kept mixing up his name, calling him Frank. And I kept thinking, she doesn't even know who he is. You know what I mean?
I was curious about that, because that was, so I mean, interviewing locals is a good way to investigate. Was she at the time thinking that, what was her opinion on Fred before she met him? That he was involved?
You want to give my opinion? You want my opinion on what I think?
You know,
I think she thought he was guilty.
Sure.
I think she thought that he was that is who Don went to day of, right?
Yeah.
This guy is nobody's talked to him. He's the meth dealer. I just think that she really thought he was guilty. If you go back, and I have recently again to go listen to her live streams back then, he was outside of Don and Candace, he was the number one suspect, and she wanted to be the first one to talk to him.
Real Rockin' Robin says at some point she called him a pedo.
She also said that maybe he was in the KKK.
I heard that.
Yeah.
So what about if you don't mind talking about it, you don't have to give details, but I mean, she went, when she realized you had woken up and you were not on her side anymore, she went vicious. She went real life.
She went vicious. She went real life right away. Yeah.
The two things you had mentioned that I caught that hit me the hardest was your job and even your friends. Do you mind sharing what that was all about?
Well, I haven't, the job thing, what's affected me more than anything that has came out of what Ziggy has done to me. There's two things. The one is filing the police report and the protection order against me. And then also, when I was a victim of real crime, a real domestic violence victim, using that on her platform to attack me and using my ex. Those are the two biggest things for me personally, and also bringing my minor child, who at the time was minor, he's not anymore, but at the time where I'm in fear of my life, you are on your platform saying that you have texts from my child that never existed, by the way. She said some of the most awful things that I've ever, and was cheering about me. I mean, let's just say it. She was cheering because she knew I got my ass beat.
Wait,
she was dancing around.
While you are going through the situation,
yes,
the situation, she's talking about it live?
Absolutely. She had him on there,
Holy
Ryan.
Oh my
She had him,
goodness.
he got violated. Part of his he got violated, by the way, 4 times. And one of the times that he was violated was because he was on her platform and also calling her phone and talking about me from the jail.
He was essentially harassing you even further online through her.
Yes.
He was
Yes. And
attacking
had a,
you through her.
yes. Yep. She's listed in that protection order. She wants it really bad. She'll never get it, but she's in it because the part of the violation was him being on this platform through, going through her to harass me. And absolutely she did. I mean, she has for how long has it been? It's 2026.
Yes.
4 years, over 4 years.
And the modus operandi of her is calling people's jobs. Did she do that to you too?
Well, I work DoorDash. So,
Okay.
I mean, she really, and also I have another job that she will never know anything about. Like, I don't
Good.
tell her. So
No
I
way.
don't talk
You're not
about
on
it.
LinkedIn. You don't
Yeah.
have that on LinkedIn or anything. She'll find
I
whatever.
have my security job on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
but I mean, she's not ever going to show that, Ryan, because that would show that I actually had a job, wouldn't it?
Right. Oh.
Right? You
Why
think that Ziggy could show a job that she went to that she had to be checked through Homeland Security and work in a lab? I don't think so.
Yeah.
With a badge? Nah.
I want to talk a little bit about the technique that toxic creators use on their users, on their moderators. Before we go there, though, is there anything else that you want to cover, and we can take as long as you want, on how she went real life on you? Any other areas that you I want you to be able to talk about it, so it's up to you.
Well, I mean, I just wanted, for me, like I said, the things that affect me the most, and I think that go too far on anything online. Like I'm a firm believer in the First Amendment. I say some things that a lot of people don't want to hear. Okay. So if Ziggy were to say things that just, maybe offend most people, they wouldn't offend me. Okay. They wouldn't bother me. They don't. Typically they're not true anyway.
Right.
But when you, like Jen just said, when Jen was up here talking about her daughter, and I'm not minimizing what happened to you in any way, and I want to just say that when I go forward and say what I'm about to say. This woman has come for my children, and specifically came for my minor son in a way that she shouldn't have any supporters, in my opinion, and she absolutely should have a platform. That's my opinion. And that's not just concerning me. I have seen her bring up people's, how many live streams have you all watched where she's just scrolling through Facebook, showing children, we don't even know who they are.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. What did she, if you don't mind sharing, what did she do specifically about your son? Did she bring him up on pictures?
So when me and my ex split up, and she was talking to him, of course, he was spoon feeding her whatever she wanted to hear, right?
Of course.
He was active addiction. He was mad, whatever. That's neither here nor there. He actually came back to the platform after he got sober, apologized, and said that he was, he had to take the platform down. Everything he said was untrue. He had relapsed and apologized. That doesn't matter. What she did is she said that my ex sent her texts from my son, who at the time was 16 or 16 and a half, whatever, sent her, underage, sent my ex a text that said that I was a horrible mom, that I was active addiction, that I was on Xanax. I was really bad on Xanax, which used to be one of my drugs of choice. My youngest son, has not seen me active addiction in his entire life. Okay. Ever since he's been born, he's almost 19 years old. Either he was in my mother's custody when I was active addiction by my own choice, which that's another thing that she tells people. She tells people that I lost my children to CPS. I told my story. That's not how it happened. But yeah, she said that she had these texts and all these things. And at the time, of course, I'm hiding for my life. I'm going to go to court. I'm going to court at the time. He's trying to find me. He's, you know, I've had to break into my own house and find loaded guns, meth laying around. Really bad shit's happening in my life as this is all going on, right?
Wow.
And she's platforming him, right? And talking about my youngest son. And I've only shared a little bit of this, but at the time, mental health is very important, right? And when you have a family that's struggling with addiction, right? I'm in recovery, but it doesn't matter. It never goes away. But my brother lived there in the home with my mom at the time. He used to be active addiction. Everybody in that house, I'll just say that everybody in that house was struggling. And we had this psycho wanting to literally kill me. And, you know, and Ziggy's platforming him and saying all these terrible things that my minor son is saying, and it wasn't true. And because it was all going on in court and my family was there to support me, they had to hear it too. So those are the things that affected me and my family most. I should not have to do. I should not. No. Here's another thing that happened. My mom lives next door to a sheriff deputy. And when this all started happening, we let him know, like, this is what's going on. You know how fucking embarrassing it was to go over to his house and say, hey, not only do you have to deal with the fact that the psycho might show up and kill me because we already asked for help, right? I need you to look out even more now because I have some psycho on the internet who's saying, here's her mom's house. She lives on blah, blah, blah road. And she's a terrible person who telling people that I was stealing my ex's dog and stealing drugs from him, all the things, whatever he was telling her, right? Doesn't matter. None of it was the truth.
Let's back up. We got to back up for a second. So
Ryan's mind blown right now.
Wait a minute.
Well, there's two things I want to say. The first, and I know you don't like compliments. You're a very humble person and you don't like to pump yourself up, but I just want to ask this question because it's really important. How many years sober for you? How many years in recovery?
Well, I have been clean from my drug of choice for 14 years.
Wow.
14 years.
I have not put a needle in. Yeah, that was my main drug of choice. But I have been clean this go around almost 7 years.
Very good.
From all illegal substance.
Huge accomplishment.
Yeah,
and that is
amazing.
Speaks highly of you and who you become as a person. That you can accomplish
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. And I have to say, it was not easy through that time.
I'm sure.
Everything was going on. And there were struggles that were happening that I'm not even comfortable sharing. When I said the things about mental health, just leave that to your imagination. Okay.
There's a lot.
Think about.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot. I was just going to say, there's a lot we don't share about things we've been through years ago.
Right.
And we understand the stress of mental illness. And I can't imagine it was hard enough. It's hard enough going through that stress of trying to deal with recovering, getting the right medication, just getting healthy mentally. I can't imagine what it would have been like going through that and then having some insane lunatic throwing all the extra stuff at you.
Listen, I've been in the same treatment center for, it's been a while, in and out of the same treatment center for almost 20 years, but then actively with one doctor and one therapist for a very long time. And you have no idea what it was like to have to get on a Zoom call with my psychiatrist who treats me with my Suboxone and her be like, yeah, we are getting phone calls after phone call after phone call, because Ziggy, of course, told where I go, telling people that I steal medication, right? Not a good thing if you're, and just imagine what that could have done for somebody that was not strong in their addiction or in their recovery, right?
Yeah.
They could have fell right back into addiction.
Yeah. Definitely.
Thank goodness, thank all of the gods that I had really good support system, not just online, not just at home, but online too. The jerks, Tragedy, Pimps, Exposed. These people are my real life friends. They were there for me and they supported me. My family did, my brother, my children, more than anything. And I wouldn't be here today without that. That's why I'm not going to back down. You've done the worst that you can do. There's nothing left, and I'll be damned.
That's what I mean. So SixUp, the extreme that she went, that's an extreme. When you're sending people after the doctor who's treating someone in recovery, you're bringing the abuser onto your channel, and that is such an extreme attack.
That's the latest. That's the latest stuff, though. There's way more before even that.
That's
Wow.
that's if someone so the reaction, that's the reaction to something you did that in her opinion was deserving of that level of attack. What in the world in her head, if you just put yourself in her head, what was the moment, what was the thing that you did that was so bad that she had to spend so much effort and time to destroy your entire life?
Oh, it's
What did
because
you
I
do?
told the truth. I told the truth.
How dare you?
That's
About
it.
about the case, like you disagreed with her on a element of the case? Is that what it was?
I think really it's just that I tell that, I mean, really, if you think about it and you go back and you think about how it all started, I really just sat there and reviewed her, Ryan. I never went off, even when she was filing. First thing she did was file a fake police report on me. I started my channel in almost the end of January of 2022. By the end of February, within a month, she had already said that I came up there, bashed her window out, brought my gangster boyfriend with me, right? And was using that in an attempt to put that in the protection order that she had already filed to get. By the end of March, she would already, said that she had this protection order. I was running from being served. And she used the next 2 years that she considered it active to harass me. She would call people, my father, my ex-landlord, ex-friends, and say that she was a private investigator trying to track me down to have me served. She's tried to pay people to have me served. Just street latum, just randos, people she don't even know off the internet.
Okay, so real talk, just complete honesty here. Have you ever done anything similar to her? Have you ever gone in real life? Have you ever called anybody in her life?
Nope.
How in the world did you deserve that level of attack? I just don't
Yeah,
get
that's
it.
what I don't get.
But she will tell everybody that, though. I mean, she does that. You know what I mean? She tells everybody that I'm the one that stalks her. What Ziggy considers stalking is me watching her on YouTube. You know that, right? If you watch her on YouTube, no, I'm not joking. If you are watching her and you do not like her, you are a stalker, you are obsessed, and you are jealous. Period.
Well, so I guess she's stalking us then.
There you go. There you go, Jen.
Oh,
she is. I mean,
yeah,
she is though.
Yeah.
You okay? I want to read this because Pearl always brings up good points. The extreme anger against SixUp is because even with an attempt at legal silencing, Ziggy has not been able to silence SixUp or push her offline. Ziggy can't deal with a no level of disagreement.
You know what? I think that Pearl just got it, because you got to remember, in that protection order, at the very, this is what it struck me as outrageous then, but even more now, because I've had to file one myself in real life. Okay. When you get to the end of a protection order, when the victim is writing their statement out, the very end, usually the courts will say, what do you want to come out of this protection order? Right. You know what Ziggy wrote? For her never to say the name Ziggy again.
Wow.
What? So what did I decide to do? Go live and say Ziggy. I mean, it's not going to work. You think she would have learned by now, Ryan? It's been 4 years.
We could go in any direction you want to. I was thinking of talking a little bit about and it's not just in the Summerwell's case, there's other creators that are like Ziggy. I don't know. I haven't heard of people getting attacked so viciously, but I also heard there were some attacks before our time. That we have some friends here locally who have named creators who are no longer on the platform who were just as bad, if not worse, than Ziggy. And I'm wondering, you cover this all the time. You go after people who exploit, who do turn on their subscribers if their subscribers don't agree. Do you think there's a standard personality type approach, a community type, or the way they are as a person that generates this kind of toxic environment where disagreement is very much frowned upon and even attacked by the community?
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of them are echo chambers. I mean, you'll hear that term a lot around here. They're very and I know a lot of people don't like this word either, like narcissistic, right? They don't like to give people labels like that. But I think that
Right.
it could boil down to, right, as easy as these people are narcissistic and they're in a position where they have people that maybe see them as an idol, see them as, I don't, for me, it's very foreign, but I do believe that that's the thing. The whole parasocial thing, right?
Right.
They feel like they're closer to somebody, but it goes both ways. It goes both ways, because now we have a creator that is the same thing, and we have very the specific creator we're talking about has very bad mental illness, that's untreated. And that's
So
scary.
I've heard that too. I do watch you a lot more now than I used to. I watch you all the time.
Me too.
We love your stuff. Like
Yeah.
every time it's on, we'll go in the living room, we'll put it on, we're like SixUp's on. It's the only way we can watch that
Right.
content.
Have some popcorn,
Because it's hard because it's really hard to listen to hateful stuff being said very often about us. For some reason, listening to you cover it, a lot of times it's like you say the things we're thinking.
Right.
You know
It's
what I
nice.
mean?
It's nice to see that, like, I'm not the only one who's feeling that way.
Yeah, like we're not
Because
crazy.
I tend to be quite sensitive, and having your
Right.
commentary really helps.
Well, I get that a lot, like a lot of my subscribers. I mean, guys, I just hit 6K. The majority of the coverage that I cover
Nice.
is
awesome.
this.
Right.
And you got to think about that. And you look in my live chat when you guys are in there, right? What are all the people that are my moderators and all the people that are, we just got new people that were victims of Ziggy's come in, right? There's steady rounds, steady through the last 4 years, steady rounds of SixUp, you were right. But gosh, it feels so good to be here around people that know what I've been through, people that know what I'm saying, people that know that I'm in fear, people that know that I'm going to be attacked. But if we're going to be attacked, fuck it, we'll do it together.
Together.
Exactly.
And that is the one reason why every time I feel like I'm not gaining ground, or it's not, she goes live again and she does some shit again, I got to keep in mind the Karens, the Cindys, the Jabs, the Pearls, the every single person that is, it's not about me. I know Ziggy wants it to be, but it's not. It's about what she created, and it's traumatic. It's not pretty. We try to make it a little bit more fun and a little bit more, I don't know. Yeah, lighthearted, but it's actually really serious shit,
Yeah, it is.
It is very, and I was there one night where in live, like in person, a person who just flipped she came from Ziggy's and she was like, I see the light now, I understand. And I realized it's someone I had actually blocked because they had come to our channel defending Ziggy's attack on us. And it was an actual person who that night decided on your live to be like, I just am not buying it. I'm on your side. And I couldn't believe it. And that happens. So you're right. A lot of your moderators, a lot of the people that come to you are former victims, and there's so many.
Right.
So many. It's just, what it reminds me of?
And the thing is that we kept saying, me and Tragedy Pimps Exposed especially, we have kept it, and that is the running theme throughout the last 4 years. If you want to leave there, we're here. Look, and another thing I want to mention, you're talking about keeping your anonymity and your all the things, like keeping your private stuff private in that intro. You guys, that is so important. If you are just coming here into this community, be careful. Be even more careful in these discords, sharing personal information about your children that can be used against you. Get careful in the chats. Really think about what could be shown. If you are going to be on this platform and stand up to these people, please make your social media as private as they can be.
Yes.
And I'm talking about all the way down to your neighbor's social media. I've had to tell people that, acquaintances before, look, if you ever hear this, psycho, it's one of my stalkers.
I hope she doesn't get to my 90-year-old dad.
Oh man.
Well, it reminds me, going back to the psychology of it. It reminds me of, I don't know if, so I've told all about Well, she makes fun of my past. She's like, he's worked for all these companies. He's looked at aliens and conspiracy theories. You know what? I have, like, I've written articles over the years, and I've dived into some really weird cults, really weird cults. I've interviewed cult members, and there's one story in particular that this reminds me of, and it's religious cults, like, and I hate to name that, I'll probably get in trouble. This is how dangerous it is. Like, people who have been in cults and they get out, they are similarly attacked by the organization, by the leaders.
Right.
And if when I am on your channel, it reminds me so much of talking to these people saying, I woke up, I understood what was really going on, what it was all about, and they came after me. They came after my life. They came after my family. They actually they will work out separating people from their family and destroying their entire lives. And it drives me wild that it feels like cult mentality. It's cult
It is.
mentality.
And that's why I have to, another thing that's been really, actually, a lot of people ask me this: how do you allow somebody who sat in a chat for years while this person did all these things to you? And this, some of these people celebrated this, right? Talked awfully about you. How do you allow them to come right into your chat and right away just because I told them I would? Because that's my word.
Right.
I told them I would, and that's what I'm going to do. If they come to my community and they're like, hey, this is what it is, I'm going to give them exactly what I said I would.
Yeah.
And they deserve that, because I believe with all my heart that these people are not acting the way they would. They're acting different because it's like they're under, I don't know, like you said, like it's cult mentality. It's an echo. You can only say certain things. And when somebody is, and I'm going to use the word groomed, they're groomed to act a certain way. If you step outside of that bounds that you've been groomed into doing, that's it. And
it's fascinating to me to see. If you watch a live that she does, I usually don't post stuff like this, but on one of our community posts, I'm like, I don't even blame her, really. I actually am starting to lean toward blaming the people who are actually subscribing and participating and supporting and enabling the behavior. Because what kind of mentality do you have to sit there and listen to someone who either the day before or 5 minutes before said something completely different, and then you're sitting in a chat and they flip 180% and they say the opposite. And for me, a normal person would be like, well, they must be lying or they must be making it up. Why would they say someone said something one day and someone said something the other day? I'm sure they don't have less than a 24-hour memory. So what in their brain is making them ignore the contradictions, ignore the lies, and still keep supporting this person who does stuff like this and attacks people like you or Jen and I or anyone else who's going to just simply disagree on a fact in the case? What kind of person enables that and supports that and stays there?
And so, and even though I don't want to make it about this, it is, when it comes to it, about this. It's about the fact that she exploits Summer. She uses Summer to do it. She's used Summer to do every single thing that when she said that I came and bashed her window out, she put a Summer. It was the only time I ever seen her share Summer's information, by the way, was when she said that her window was bashed out. She had a Summer Wells poster on the window. Every single thing that she has done, she includes this little girl in it. And that's why when I say over on my channel, like, I don't want to, like, AI picks up her name. You know what I mean? I don't, when I'll say things like this baby, right? When I say things like that, I'm not trying to take away from Summer. I'm trying to not bring the more drama or BS into her name. I really want to be a part of making her story be what her story really was. And it's not what people see on YouTube. I know now. I know for a fact. And if Ziggy wants to know why I went and did what I did, well, then she needs to go back and rewind 4 years and pay attention. Maybe stop sitting there running her cheese shredder and go fucking watch the live stream. Sorry. But I mean, it's, but I don't even think she could take it in. I don't even think that she would be able to ever reflect. I really don't believe that. She is hyper focused on destroying anybody that comes against her and Fred now. And that's it. And in my opinion,
SixUp, is it really against, like, all we're doing is saying, hey, we think there's a possibility that this could be an alternative theory, and that alone, because she doesn't agree with it, you make the mistake of saying, well, maybe Andy wasn't on the road. Oh my God. Just making that suggestion of some alternative theory.
It is, yeah. She has said it. She out loud, Ryan. I have it clipped where she said, if you do not believe Fred and you do not believe that Andy was on the road on June 15th, you are not for Summer. How dare her say that?
Did this only start though after she met Fred? Was this behavior only after she met Fred?
When she met Fred, if you pay attention to that first interview, she brought up Andy and Jody Sue right away. You guys remember that?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, she brought him up, and he's seen that she kept bringing it up. If you go back to that original video, she was the one who did it. She was the one who brought it up, and then he had some shit to say. He did not bring up Andy. He did not bring up Jody Sue.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
I have noticed that a lot of the stuff he comes up with is usually stuff that has been mentioned on other channels.
All of it. When I went through it, Ryan, a couple years ago, when they first, like, were saying they were together or whatever, and I went back and I watched some of the things he said. Me and Karen at that point had began talking, and she's like, I'm telling you, everything he said in the beginning, he's seen online. And she had seen him go down there, get Wi-Fi, and him and Laura go watch stuff on YouTube. He absolutely brings up things that were on YouTube that day in that first meeting. He brings up things he's seen on YouTube. All of the things that he says come from YouTube. All of them.
Yeah, I've caught like at least half of the things he came up with. I'm like, I know what channel that came from. I've heard that before he even mentioned it. But he twists it. He'll take something someone said and then he'll make this. I had an uncle like that who used to he loved to tell stories, and he would take something that was partially true, like he got fool's gold at one shop once, and he came home and he's like, you guys, I found this in a cave in North Carolina, and he told us a long story. And it's like, that's what Fred reminds me of, this old uncle who just likes to tell tall tales, likes to make shit up. And
I think it was on the second interview here or something. He said to Ziggy at one point that you can tell somebody the most bullshit story and they believe everything you say, but when you tell them the truth, they'll never know it or something. I'm paraphrasing. So right away, he was telling her, I'm bullshitting you. And she just didn't get it. It went right over her head. He waved at her and that was it.
That's insane. I don't get it.
I think this is what I think to this day. I know it to be true. She thought that she was going to marry Fred Hill and that was going to pump life back into her channel after scamming Cindy and taking all that money, and that they were going to be famous. And she was going to be the gatekeeper of Summer's case. She was going to be the go-to. They were going to do documentaries about her and Fred and all the things. And that's why we keep getting the projections are confessions with the documentary, and we're all in it. That's right. That's why I'm here right now. I'm getting paid for it right now, Ziggy.
Yeah. The documentary, it surprised me that that's come up. Other than her, going after you, going after us, going after different people, the one common theme in her most recent stuff. And I'm people who are watching this, I'm not trying to only go after Ziggy. This is SixUp's story. We've said earlier, this is a pattern throughout social media, throughout YouTube. And this is the approach that they take. This extreme attack against someone simply for disagreeing, like we mentioned, we were talking about the cult mentality earlier. We're looking for patterns. We're looking for what this type of community looks like, so that all of you watching this, when you go into a community, and it doesn't have to be Ziggy's, it can be anyone across all of the missing persons cases. There's some in Sebastian's case. There's some in Michael Vaughn's case. They're everywhere. Trust me.
John Benet Ramsey.
Oh,
That's
tons in
the
John
worst.
Benet Ramsey's case. And if
Yeah.
you go in this community, we may be talking about Ziggy. We're really talking about patterns to look for in these communities so that you know it's toxic and dangerous and that it could turn on you. So please understand we're not talking specifically about, we are talking specifically about Ziggy.
Yeah, and I would
as
like
an
to
example. As an example.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, just you took the words right out of my mouth, Jen, for an example. Not about me. Let's bring up somebody else who's been victimized. The jerks. The jerks were moderators. They used to be the circle jerks, right? A lot of them were over there when they first started the circle jerk channel. They actually used to review me sometimes, right? They were in Ziggy's community. They were supporters of her. They supported her, right? When she would do these sales, they would purchase her items for her, right? They were supporters. They supported her. Even though, you know, I believe and I have shown that she targeted these people because once she knows you're a donor, you get treated very differently. That's one of the things that people need to pay attention to. Pay attention to how different these creators treat people who donate versus people who do not. If you're in and a creator treats somebody like Ryan gave me $50 the other day, if you see me over there every time, oh, Ryan, it's so good to see you. I'm so happy. But then, you know, but then Pearl comes in and I'm like, hey, Pearl, you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. And then what she did once she got their information and they decided they didn't want to support her anymore. And that's all you have to do is she went live and she showed, you know, private things like their addresses, packages she had sent them, using her own business to dox out people that used to support her and pay her bills. So if you see that, take note. You see a creator, and I don't care what excuse they use, what they say to you, no matter what it is, just remember that it can be you. If she even thinks, or anybody, any creator even thinks that you're doing something that is against them, they can use that personal information that you gave them against you. If they're doing it in front of your face to somebody else, they will absolutely do it to you. Do not think you're immune.
That's a really good
scary
point.
part. And I want to say that to Ryan. Ryan, you said, why do these people stay? Sometimes they stay because they're scared.
They're scared.
I haven't thought of it that way.
That's a really good point. I mean, that is a really good pattern to look for if you are landing on a channel and they're going after someone else viciously and talking about their family and talking about their job or their domestic violence situation. That should be a huge red flag. If they're willing to do that to anybody, they're going to do it to you. If you simply disagree, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah, I mean, and I've seen a lot of them starting out was that one of the things I paid attention to was how she treated other people, not just in online, but in her real life. You know what I mean? She didn't have any people around her. And I noticed that. Like, why is that? I know, look, I have people that are in my family I choose not to be around as well for whatever reason. But usually, typically, you don't come across somebody that has, 3 or 4 siblings and a mom and dad that are alive that you never speak to them. You're never around them. You know what I mean? And that stood out to me. That's something to pay attention to. People who want to act like they're noble members of society, but they never have any evidence of it. It's all mouthpiece and mouth work.
You and Tragedy Pimp Exposed, I know there are other channels, but the two of you especially collaborate together on talking about channels that do this. And I'll tell you, when we first started, Tragedy Pimp Exposed posted a comment on one of our videos going, hey, I have some critical advice for you and on how you could do this differently, because I think it could be exploiting a child. I was offended. I was so mad. Tragedy Pimps Exposed. I'm sorry. I was so mad originally, and now that I'm seeing truly people that truly are intentionally exploiting, not only accidentally, but intentionally using these cases to generate cash apps, donations, whatever they want to call it. They'll deny it, but some form of compensation. It may not even be money. It may be donations, maybe real things. Are there things that, and Tragedy Pimps Exposed is in the chat. I want to say I appreciate what you do now. I understand what you do too. I think it's important, and I want to know if a creator is coming on this platform now, fresh, never did missing persons cases, and they want to cover these cases. They want to cover these important missing persons cases, and they want to do it in a way that's respectful and doesn't exploit these. Is it the extreme of you just simply can't monetize? Is it you need to treat the families a certain way? Like, what do you guys look for when you analyze a channel? Like, are they exploiting a missing persons case? What are the things that you look for?
Well, I will say that when I first started, I was not as did not have the same viewpoint that I have now. I've gotten a little bit more strict when it comes to missing children that are open cases. Let me just say that, like Summer,
Okay.
just because they are just because of what I've seen happen to this baby specifically on here on YouTube. When I first came on here, I wasn't like, oh no, nobody should even have live chats going on and shouldn't be monetized because they're doing work too and whatever. And I had a really good conversation with the Tragedy Pimps Exposed, and the way she broke it down for me, my perception changed. For me, now I do feel like that when you bring in the live chat and you have a missing child that's got no information, we don't have anything, right? It's completely open, hasn't been found yet, and you're live streaming and you're monetizing off of open-ended questions that can go on and on forever, right? Everybody's in the chat saying she could have been this, she could have been that, and all these things are happening. That's when we have that. I feel grossed out because I do. And any kind of like when people are talking about these children, something happening like being trafficked or their families abusing them, their parents unaliving them. I say unaliving, I say the actual word on my channel. I'm being respectful to yours, but I'm just saying, like, when people say such things and then the channel creator doesn't delete them messages and they're feeding into that and they're all, you know what I mean? That's exploitation. You're feeding in, you're feeding into rumors. Let's stick to what we know, right? Is it okay? Do we all sit here and hypothesize and talk about things? Of course. We all want her to come home. But the thing is, it's another thing that I come to is you got to understand the intention. And that's what happened with you guys. A lot of people probably say to me, SixUp's over on Ryan Vine's Truth channel. What the fuck? Right? Well, the thing is I got a chance to interact with Ryan at one point when I was at Nana's house, get a little bit more of an understanding. I was actually going to stay behind one day when he was doing a search and I had to leave. And I drove home that day thinking about you guys and thinking about what you guys do and thinking about all the things. And then I actually got to meet Jen and we sat down and we had a little conversation. Yeah, that was good times. And but I mean, it wasn't, I just have to say that once you know the intentions, that makes something different as well. Also, you're approachable. I've been able to talk to you guys. Even when we had different viewpoints and I was like, fuck you. And you were like, fuck you. We could still have a conversation like adults and work through it and look at us now. That's what it's about. What is the point of doing this if we don't bridge the gap between us, right? And make something happen that's good for the actual victims. Isn't that what it's all about?
Yes. And you just highlighted, I think, a key that separates a cult-like toxic environment with a healthy environment that may not be trying to exploit, maybe trying to do the right thing, is the welcoming of other theories, of other viewpoints that may not even be yours. Like the creator has their viewpoints, but they should be willing to actually take into account someone who says, hey, I think this happened. I think the parents did it. Okay, let's talk about it. What proof do you have? What evidence do you have that the parents did it? Let's talk through that theory. Instead of being like, no, you're an asshole, get out of my channel. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference there with how you handle. Actually, the Michael Vaughn case we just covered, we had a comment from someone. Now, the Michael Vaughn case, blew my mind how much evidence there is against those 4 people. It's overwhelming. The affidavit, what the police have,
Oh,
and
it's ugh.
digital footprint, they're already going through trial.
Mhm.
But I still
I
had
can't wait
someone,
to see it because I can't wait
oh
to
my
see
gosh.
it.
But I
because
still had
it's a long time
someone,
coming.
even with the trial going on, I still had someone come into the comments and say, I think Tyler did it.
Tyler? Oh, come.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I couldn't believe, I'm blowing my
Sorry.
mind. I'm like, where is this coming from? I
Wow.
didn't delete the comment, but I'm like, what in the world evidence do you have that points toward Tyler,
Who was the father?
who was the father of
Well, let me see. Well, just let me say, I
Sure.
actually agree with people having different opinions.
Mhm.
Of
Okay.
course. Yeah.
I'm going to say that although I do not suspect Brandy and Tyler of anything at all, I also hold back because Stacy and everybody else are innocent until proven guilty. I would
Right.
like to see the evidence.
Mhm.
That's how I feel. So for
Oh,
me,
yeah.
I'm kind of all these years of watching this case be exploited as well, and it has been, and I'm not going to bring that up, but it has
Yeah.
been. And I just want to see what happens, and I'm hoping that it's good. I'm really hoping that he's found soon. Is what I'm hoping that will come out of this trial, hopefully.
Right.
Oh, Eliza, so do you know anything about this documentary, SixUp? You must have. You must have
Yes,
some insight. We're gonna come clean tonight. We're gonna expose this documentary, this terrible, terrible Seminoles documentary that will just be this horrible thing. I can't
Yeah.
believe there's a documentary.
And we're all gonna make
Well, it's international, and that's all I know is it's international. It's definitely Netflix. It's definitely got to do with Mexico because Chasing just stays down there drinking margaritas and eating tacos. It's ridiculous. But Pearl
They are
said that
cheap
I can sing
tacos.
the intro, so it's cool.
I hope there is one. Like, I'm really hoping that that's a true story. That
as
there's
long as they do it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that all the anger over that is again more projection or confessions.
Yeah.
She wishes her and Fred were in an actual documentary. She doesn't realize that you don't get rich and famous off documentaries typically.
No.
Then again, she's not very smart. So
No.
That's true, Tragedy Pimp Exposed. The live streaming a search, we realized early on, we almost started doing that. Like, we were like, let's just go ahead and go live. The
Yeah.
dangers of going live during an actual search for an actual missing person. And the other thing we tried to do is when we realized that, hey, cops are active, searchers are active in a fresh case. If someone went missing last week, that's the worst thing. If someone just went missing and you've got a YouTuber on the ground live streaming, showing where the searchers are,
it's not a good
where
idea.
they've searched already, you're giving the criminals, you're giving the criminals insight into what areas have been searched already. And you realize what that does?
Doesn't help the case.
They can move wherever they're hiding things. They can go, okay, that place has been searched. That field I just saw on YouTube, that's been searched. Great place to go ahead and move the body. And we were like, okay, we're never going to live stream, especially a brand new case. Cold cases, I don't know if we'll ever do that, but very good point, Tragedy Pimps. That's just, I've seen that happen so often. It's happening in the Nancy Guthrie case all the time.
Oh, I know it. That's another thing that just it grosses me out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I would absolutely love a documentary. I would absolutely love for summer story to be told in a way. Like I have to tell you guys, when I first finally went to Beach Creek, when I went down Ben Hill Road, it was a very emotional day for me. I'm lucky that and blessed that I have a friend like Nana and Yennefer too, and Karen too as well. And we all went down there together. And I wish that her story was told correctly. That's it. I just want her story to be her story. It's not about any of the other bullshit.
Hey,
and
Glenda.
I'm afraid that that's never going to happen. You know?
We should have talked about this earlier. I apologize. This is something I just saw Glenda come in here and it made me remember this. And you mentioned Nana. This probably is the thing that had lit a fire under my ass recently, is obviously going after Nana. And that was probably the first thing. But then subsequent lives, I heard comments like attacking Glenda someone who was going through some health issues. I'm not going to give details, but she was going through horrible health issues. And you've got this person actually attacking Glenda and saying Glenda's a horrible person and her family's horrible. And to me, that was a moment that it dawned on me that we're not dealing with a normal psychology. We're not dealing with a normal person, someone who would go after someone like Glenda.
Someone with empathy.
No empathy.
No empathy.
Zero empathy. What are your, I know you've talked on your channel often about what's happening with Nana, but some insight into what in the world creates this no holds barred. We're going to talk about anyone local, even though we don't know them personally, and we're going to drag them through the mud. I don't get it. Do you have any insight into what would drive a human being to be that way toward another human being?
The only thing that I can't even think and consider is, again, poor mental health, personality, you know, some kind of mental health issue, obviously, because I often watch her and I think, you know, before I'm getting ready to do a live stream, I'm sitting there, you know, getting timestamps and just I'll listen to her and I'll just think, how can anybody be so cruel?
Yeah.
I mean, how can somebody be, how, after all these years, and you're screaming at the top of your lungs about how everybody else is the problem, right?
Yeah.
And there's never been any reflection, any accountability, any nothing. I don't want anything. By the way, I just want to say, like, I guess somebody, I think it was like a year ago, went to Ziggy and said something in her chat about apologizing to me. I don't need to be, I don't, no. I would just really love for it to, I would really love for it to stop. That's it. Yeah. The exploitation is the main thing of this baby, but next is what she does here and does to everybody. I mean, guys, I'm just sitting here looking again. Let me read a little bit, if I can. Let me read a little bit of the things that Ziggy has done to go real life to others. Okay. We already talked about multiple jerks, doxed. She used her business. She accessed customers' address. Again, this list is 3 years old. Another content creator who reviewed her was named Just the Receipt. She outed her real name. She showed it on her live stream. She showed her educational background, where she lived, her other jobs, other countries she lived in. She bullied her, which she did. She talked to her, you know, about her, this woman like she was, you know, awful. So she dug in the background of her. One time, somebody emailed her and told her about herself, and I don't even know what it was about. She claims it was about her daughter. Nonetheless, Ziggy tracked down this woman's daughter on Pinterest and emailed her and harassed her, you know, via that way.
Her daughter. Tracked down her daughter.
On Pinterest. Yeah. And was harassing her, telling the daughter that her mother was a drunk and that her mother was no good, and that was online harassing her.
See, that's
Benny Keys. Benny Keys, another content creator. Benny Keys was her original stalker, by the way, before I even got there. Now, she called the cops on Benny. Called, you know, you guys know the famous Plano detective call that I have up on my channel, where she screams at the police for 12 minutes straight about arresting Benny Keys. That's not the only time it's happened. We can add to that now. We know she's called a parole officer. She's called other places, jobs, right? And I can, you guys, the list goes on and on and on. I'm scrolling on and on and on. And yeah.
Wait, I have a Pinterest? I didn't even know I had a Pinterest.
She will find every social media. I'm telling you, she will. She will find every social media.
Weird. Wow, I didn't even know I had Pinterest.
On mine, you'll find a lot of crafts.
The thing, and oh, Jen, how dare you be interested in crafts? I know, right? Nasty person. The other thing too, that made me realize. So early on, I was listening to stuff that she said, and other people said too. It's not just her, about locals. I was afraid of Wild Bill. I believed what she said about Glenda and her family. I did. I didn't know any better. I never met them. That's the difference too. I think that's the thing. I think a lot of people that are not from around here who listen to these channels, they hear these claims, which usually aren't provided without any evidence, any supporting evidence. And then I met them. Like the day I met Glenda, I will never forget, because I talked to Steve, her son, I believe, for a long time, for like half an hour before Nana arrived and everyone else arrived. And I talked to Steve and I'm like, he knows a lot about Fred. He knows a lot about Fred's circles.
Yeah, he does.
May have further conversations with Steve because he's a great guy, very nice guy. And
Steve is a great guy. Glenda is a great woman too.
it started opening my eyes because I'm like, these aren't the people that were described on the internet. And I met Glenda, and she's the sweetest woman, and she was in a lot of pain. She's going through a lot of hard stuff, but she's the sweetest woman I've ever met. In the holler, where everyone's afraid of going in the holler and meeting people because they think it's like banjos and shit, the stereotypes. You know what I mean? It's not like that. These are really nice, down to earth people. And I think a lot of these creators are capitalizing on the stereotypes, painting these negative narratives about locals, using those stereotypes. But when you meet these people in person and you look them in the eye and you talk to them, it's not reality. It's not reality.
It's
These
not.
are nice
It's not.
people.
And
These are
I
good
love
people.
how you just said that. They do. They do. They capitalize off stereotypes like the church, the little church. That's why it
Yes.
was so
Oh my
important
goodness.
to me when I
Oh,
got to meet the preacher and just to put up that little, and that's all I wanted to do, just put up that little short because I didn't want to, make it too much. Because we had a whole conversation with him about the church, about things he had heard on YouTube, about Summer, of course, about the
mhm.
flyers that Nana comes down there and replaces all the time, all the things. I didn't put that out because I just wanted people to see that is what Ziggy and Fred have said on here is not at all what it was. And, just it's
Thank you, Mary Melbourne. The church too, the church thing, the claim that there was, you probably know this better than I do. The original claim that there was something going on underneath the church, where did that come from? Do you remember?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it came from the Vixter herself. I would
So
think. I mean,
probably,
that's where I heard it. So I don't know where she would have got it from, but that's
I
where I
think it
heard
was
it.
someone mentioned Fred had mentioned this, but I hadn't seen the clip yet. But it sounds like something Fred would
Oh yeah.
say.
Oh,
What?
Fred did say. Fred did. Now that reminds me. Fred did say that. He
Okay,
said that there was a
that,
basement, and there's
that was
not.
the
I was
and that
inside of that church.
so
No.
someone knew, a friend of mine knew I was going to Light Holler that day, and they were like, check out the church because there's supposed to be something under the church. And I was standing there with Nana and Glenda, and I was looking at the church, and it's a solid slab of concrete that thing is sitting on.
Yeah.
And your video of the inside was beautiful. I'm so glad you did that, showing people what it really looks like. But
Well, and also the preacher was the preacher there. He was very welcoming. He didn't know me from. I mean,
Mhm.
he knew that I was not from there. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
and he was like very welcoming, grateful to have the conversation, which was like, usually, well, typically I would think that these people would be like, oh, you want to record me? You're from YouTube?
yeah,
No.
Ooh.
yeah, they do not like YouTubers out there.
Oh,
Have
no.
you noticed
I
that?
don't blame them. I don't blame them at all.
Well, I don't typically go around saying I'm a YouTuber. I'm just
Right.
like
No,
me,
no.
unless I'm,
Oh,
if I'm recording, then of course
oh,
the
yeah, of
people know. Yeah.
course.
I've actually asked Nana if we can go into the church. And I think she said we might be able to do this. I'm planning on filming every inch of that concrete slab, all around the outside and all around the inside, to prove there's no trap door, there's no underneath, there's nothing, there's no
I mean,
cavity.
there's an outhouse. You can go to the bathroom.
Do we have to look down in the hole?
I'm not dropping a camera down an outhouse.
Well, that's something we do, though, isn't it?
Hey, Jankies. Yes, it is actually. Yes. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh.
I've so SixUp, you've been through hell with this woman. You've been through hell with this woman in your life, and you've launched a channel. It's not all you talk about. You cover a
No,
lot of
yeah.
interesting things. But I mean, it lit a fire under your ass, and you have a commitment to exposing this kind of behavior um, if she dropped her channel, if she was like, okay, I'm done, what would you do?
I would still obviously still have a channel, but I
Sure.
definitely wouldn't be covering her.
Right.
I mean,
Just moving on.
I
moving
would,
on.
you guys know what? I wait for the day that I get to wake up and know that Ziggy and Fred will no longer be exploiting this little girl. Okay. No matter
Do you
how that
think
happens,
do you
no
think it's
matter
ever
if
gonna
it's
happen? Do you think it's ever gonna happen?
unfortunately, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Mm.
How do you protect your how do I phrase this? This is a lot of drama. This is maybe the last time we ever talk about this because
I hope so. I
'cause
don't like this.
we try to do what we do and we try to search and we try to just cover the cases. But I mean, you are dedicated to exposing people like this.
Mhm.
How do you protect your peace? How do you protect your emotional grounding when you do this? Because I don't even imagine how you can. It's a lot of drama.
Well, I have,
Um,
okay, there's a few things. My recovery is like the most important thing in my life. So, because of my recovery, I have access to a lot of resources. And I've also been a peer support, an actual peer support, unlike the, the fake over there, where I learned a lot of things. And one of the main things I learned is to reach out for help when I need it, to not be too prideful. And I've gotten a lot better with that through the years. Also, I have one of the biggest support systems that I've ever had in my life because I am now in recovery. I'm not, walking up and down the street messed up. I have my children in my life. It like for me, it can't. I got out of a toxic relationship and I overcame that. It's been 2 years, over 2 years since that happened.
You're a strong person.
Yeah, this is nothing in comparison. Do you know how easy it is for me now? Sometimes it does get, there has been times where it's absolutely gotten to me, but not because of specifically things online, things that are going on in my real life that are happening because of the things online that are compounding on top of the real life things, like the domestic violence situation. That point, that was when but the real, to keep it real, all I have to do, and I do it often, I travel, and when I do, I'm not on YouTube. I turn it off. The only time I'm on YouTube is to listen to music. I enjoy the scenery. I enjoy the North Carolina, Tennessee mountains as I'm driving through. I go enjoy my family, my mother, hang out with my mother who, is getting older in age and isn't going to be here very much longer. Those things are my focus. YouTube is it's on the list. Okay. It's important to me. This is important to me, obviously, but I know how to delete the application. I know how to not interact. And also the people that do have, are in my life outside of YouTube, they have access to me outside of YouTube. You know what I mean? So for me, that's how I do it. Plus, again, I reach out. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, I journal, I meditate, I call my sponsor and bitch to my sponsor about this bitch named Ziggy that go the fuck away, and that's it, I talk about it. That's the most important thing, is using your voice, and also not being ashamed of your feelings. Earlier when you guys first started and Jen was getting emotional and she was like, I'm gonna stop, I shouldn't, I shouldn't do this. You have every right, Jen, to feel upset, to show your emotion, and to be and be supported in that moment. So yeah, please don't ever apologize for that, because that's one thing I've had to do with me. You know what I mean? Like, stop apologizing when people listen to me and they're like, God, man, sometimes she's yelling or she's, she's fuck this or fuck that. If you knew my story, if you knew my real story, my actual life story, you would understand why I use my voice. And I'm going to, and I hope that more people will come and support it, because we're having a go at it. So
I will say, SixUp, at the beginning, you even commented on it at one point. You had talked about us. I don't remember what you said, but I was like, she's just a hate channel. I said, she's just a hate channel. and you mentioned that on your one of your lives. You're like, I hate channel, and then I did not know your story at the time. I did not know your story, and that's the thing. When I understood, when I got to know you and realized this woman, not only forget the Ziggy shit, your personal life, the stuff you survived. You're a survivor, for one, strong survivor, probably one of the strongest women I've come across. And then you add on top the shit that you got served just on this platform.
Yeah.
And then the way you responded to that shit, you didn't back down. You didn't close your channel and run off scared. You stood up and you're like, I'm going to cover this shit constantly. I'm going to cover this shit every week. And to me,
yeah.
that was huge. That, to me, once I understood what had happened to you and your response to it was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I wish more people were like that. They could walk into the fire.
Well, I do, but I have to say that I do understand why a lot of people are not. These people, specifically Ziggy, go for your real life. Nobody wants that, Ryan. Nobody wants what they're doing to people's. Nobody wants that. And when it actually happens to you, even if you have a friend that it happened to, you're still not going to have an understanding until somebody actually hits a live stream and starts talking about your children or talking about something that makes you seem like you're a really bad, horrible person. And you know it's not true. A lot of people, they do stop. I mean, I've seen content creators cover Ziggy in one live stream and she'll contact one of their family members. They're done. They never mention her again.
Wow.
And she wins.
Hey, we have an opportunity. Let's convert someone. Let's convert this person. Because I think Curious Country Girl may be a supporter of Ziggy's. Let's talk about this story.
Absolutely.
Let's convert Curious Country Girl. Let's have a convert.
Well, don't assume that she feels that.
I'm just saying. Let's talk about this story. Did you break Ziggy's window? What happened?
Absolutely not. Wasn't even in the state. Nowhere near her.
Oh wow. How did that start?
What was that story? What's the whole thing with Ziggy's window? I don't know anything about it.
So it was like the end of February. She knew that the day before, because she outed that my ex-partner was in prison. He was getting out. Okay, I think it was a Sunday or a Monday. I can't remember. Anyway, he was getting out, and that's what I'm saying when I say protect your personal information. That's what I'm talking about. Stuff like this. Because she had outed the fact that he was in prison and all that was happening. I was telling everybody when he was getting out. So he got out. He got home. I think it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. He had to take a Greyhound. Neither one of us had a license at this point, by the way. I lived in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
He was in a prison in Northern Ohio, and he got out of prison, served his time, came back home, got there at like 4 o'clock in the morning, had to take a Greyhound, then a city bus. And of course, then we spend our time together, order some pizza, pass out. I wake up and YouTube's going nuts. Ziggy said you broke her window to her car. I'm like, what? And your gangster boyfriend. I'm like, okay,
oh my gosh.
Here we go. And that's exactly what happened. And she put in a police report to her local police department to absolutely put my name on the police report, put my birth date, said that me and my gangster boyfriend drove from Cincinnati, Ohio, and she thinks it was us, right? Thinks it was me. But then she told the police that she didn't want the police to give me the record. So as soon as after this all happened and it was all said and done, I requested the police report. I called the Shelbyville Police Department and I said, I want this report with my name on it. And they gave it to me. And I read it on a live stream. And guess what she did?
Right.
She privacy struck me. Swear, for showing a police report that she filed on me.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, good. Thank you, Curious Country Girl, for explaining that. I assumed you were a follower of hers.
No, absolutely not. Look, I would never do such a thing. I don't have a violent past. I have done violent things in my past, but I don't have like a violent past. If I was active addiction or something, maybe you could consider that might happen with me, but it probably wouldn't be the window that was busted out. It would probably be more like her mug. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I assumed that was the story because most
Yeah.
accusations like that are fabricated, and so I knew that was the case.
Well, the thing is that the one thing that everybody needs to know, she was moving boxes out of her storage unit at the time. Ziggy was still claiming to be a resale person, and her and her partner had broken up, and so she was in her own place, and he was no longer paying for her storage. So she had to go get all of them things out of storage the same day. Isn't it ironic that the day she was moving all these big boxes and they were in the back of her car was the day that the window got bashed out? Also,
And
I want to pause
many
and say
things-
that yeah, she had some mods around her at the time. One of them was Pearl de Beer. One of them was Deets on the Streets. And Soup, Simpson has the Soup. They were all mods. They were on a voice chat. And she straight up said to them that it was the neighbor boy that did it. It only changed to me a day or two after, because she knew that she could put that in the police report to file with a protection order. As soon as it happened, I knew what she was doing. She's trying to get, because you can't just go file a protection order because somebody said on YouTube they don't like you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what she came up with.
Interesting.
And just imagine going that far to accuse somebody of a crime. Of a crime.
Well,
So
no, I don't get
the
it.
lesson to learn from this whole thing, lesson or lessons, we talked about if you are a true crime creator. I think normal people, I think people who have good hearts, understand the right way to cover these. It can be like Chasing said earlier. Sometimes she even makes a mistake. You know what I mean? We
Right.
try not to exploit these cases best we can. But when you talk about being, this live tonight is for the people who are not creators. I mean, you're now a creator, SixUp, so you and I,
We're fair game.
we're fair game. They're going to talk about us.
I
you know.
agree. I completely agree with you. I'm all about it. That's why I say all the time, come for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Bitch, come for me. Please
Right.
come for me. Leave these locals alone. Leave
Yes.
other people alone that are innocently. I mean, I watch these people in chats too, because I'm very hyper aware that they're being targeted. So I'm just saying it. I am watching what they're saying, because say if Glenda or Steve or somebody came in. No, well, I want to say too, like Bill Shepley is not welcome at my channel. I have him blocked from my channel. I don't agree with people that say that he's a good guy. I've said that very openly on my channel. So I want to say that again here. I don't support men that beat up women. So that's just how I feel. That's my boundary. I believe that it happened. His ex-wife was at my channel, a member for a very long time. And I've seen her be exploited by Ziggy and her story be exploited. And I think that that's what got him riled up. And I think that's where we got the problem, because he's mad, right? She's on here exposing all these awful things that he's done, right? And he's not. Okay, is he a better person than he used to be? Probably, maybe, right? That's, you know, he could be. So I don't know. I've never met him. I'm just saying that for me, it's unfortunate. But then again, Ziggy doesn't know him, right? I don't know him. She never met him. And just like you just said, when you met Glenda, when you met Steve, you realize they're good people.
Yeah.
Until you meet somebody, you don't know. But I stay hyper focused on what these people are saying in my chat, because I do not want them to be attacked. I don't agree with people going real life. I will get people, you know, they'll be hearing some of the things that she does to me or others, and they'll be like, oh, fuck this, SixUp. I'm calling, you know, they'll say in my chat, oh, shouldn't somebody call his probation officer? And that shit leaves my chat. I'm not doing it. I've never entertained that. Why would I do something that she's doing to me? Again, this is one thing that I just want to leave with this point. An attorney told me at the very beginning of all this, and it wasn't a paid attorney, it was a friend of the family. He was a personal injury attorney. He was an 80-year-old man. And he told me the best thing that you can do, Jennifer, is keep doing what you're doing on your channel and expose her, because the defamation slander case is going to drag on and on and on and on.
Right.
You're going to pay all this money, and she doesn't have anything. She doesn't own anything. What are you going to get out of it? Right. The best thing you can do is continue to do what you're doing. And that's what I've done. And I'm going to keep doing it.
That is the secret. SixUp, that is what heals me. When I know someone, when I hear things people are saying about me, and then Friday comes along, tomorrow is going to be Saturday, which I love the weekend. I get in the Jeep, It's not the Jeep anymore. Now it's a different vehicle. But I head out into the mountains. I head out anywhere we're going to be searching, and doing what you do and focusing on your content, creating actual content, not content about just other people, covering cases, you know, things like that. Doing what you are passionate about, and it may be covering other channels in your case, which is fine, but it's what you're passionate about. It's what you believe in, and making your content, in my opinion, is the most healing experience because you're not focusing on responding. You're focusing on creating.
Mm-hmm.
You're creating
Yep.
your content. And to me, that's just forget it. It's fine. They say what they want to
It's
say.
also like focusing on making it better every time that it happens. I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to be stagnant and just, you know what I mean? Like I want it to be better. If people are going to come and subscribe to me, well then damn it, I'm going to try to do, you know, be a little bit better. That goes for everything. And I love that you're talking about the weekend. Like this weekend, we're going to a spring fair. Like I actually, you know, it's the thing you hear, you know, Ziggy say this quite a bit. She'll tell other people to get a life, get a job, go do things.
Yeah.
Just because we don't share them openly on the platform or post a video every time we're doing a dance or whatever it is we're doing in life, right? Doesn't mean that it's not happening.
Right.
So yeah, there's a reason why creators don't share specific things, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
I will get back to the Bill Shipley thing. That's another thing that blew my mind because I've never met him either. The only comment I've ever made about Bill was based on what I heard from her and Fred. I was terrified of him. And then I heard from locals who knew him in person and described kind of personality was. I'm like, okay, I wouldn't be afraid to meet him. And all of a sudden, me just simply saying I wouldn't be afraid to sometime meet him. All of a sudden, we're like best friends. Nana,
yeah, well, that's you see. Listen, Ryan, that's the whole projection or confessions because she met Fred and automatically she felt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. She does have this histrionic kind of thing where she sees some relationships closer than what they are. Right? That's one of the things that she does.
Yeah,
we don't do that. If somebody waves at us, we wave back. You know,
right,
and then bye. Yeah.
I'll be honest. So Bill even told Nana that I don't know why, but he doesn't even want to talk to me. So we're opposite of best friends. Like he wouldn't even talk to me anymore. So I don't, you know.
You haven't talked to him yet.
I haven't even had a chance to talk to the guy. I think it's just because we had mentioned him when Nana was on the channel. She was talking about him. I don't know.
And I do think that, look, if people that don't know Nana has one of the biggest hearts in the world. If you don't know that, now you know. She does. And she believes in people. She believes in second, third, fourth, 12th chances. If she didn't, she definitely wouldn't be friends with a person like me. So I actually like that about her. I like that, you know, she has met him and she said that he was nice to her. And that's all she said. She never said me and Bill Shipley are best friends and we hang out every day and we skip around together while we're locked arms. It never happened.
I mean, it's the same thing with you're absolutely right, because it's the same thing with any local that I have ever interviewed or talked to. Like you've seen the videos. I've taken Andy on a couple of rides, maybe 2 or 3. We've talked about the case. We chat every now and then. In her mind, we're best friends. We're like locked and we're plotting.
She says, I'm working with Andy. I have never met Andy. Andy comes into my chat. I have never met Andy. I don't know what she thinks that I go down there and do. Just like, I'm going to, you know, I don't know what she thinks, but it's kind of funny. She thinks it.
But it's the next level of there's that like, there's the paranoid conspiracy thinking. You probably know better than I do what psychology creates that kind of thinking, where there's like this cabal, there's like this secret group and they're after you and they want to victimize you and they want to attack you. They may not even exist, but in your mind they do.
Well, that's also a way that these create tragedy pimps, is what we call them, right? That they get these individuals groomed. What you just said, it's exactly what they do. Say it. What did you just say? Because I just forgot it already.
Paranoid. It's like a paranoid.
Yes. So they make there always has to be a bad guy, right? There
Right.
always has to be the bad guys coming for me. So for
Mhm.
Ziggy, the bad guy is us, right? But it's
Right.
always, they're always coming for you. They have to always keep that story narrative or whatever you want to say going. That way people fear for them. They're like, oh my God, how can I help you? How can I, do you need money? Do you need, you know what I mean? Do you
It's
need
like a
Mhm.
sympathy? Can I
group
coddle
mentality.
you? Mm-hmm.
It's a group
Yep.
mentality that
It
you
is. There has
yeah.
to be an enemy. There has to
Mhm.
be a enemy. And
Mhm.
even if it's a shadowy enemy of just these vague people who are working together against me, oh my God, I'm a victim. So help me. Help me.
Mm-hmm.
Victim
And
narcissist. Thank you.
she
Yeah.
is not the only, you know what I mean? She is definitely not the only one that has picked up in this community that is the sweet spot for you to be
Mhm.
in. If you are a perpetual victim, people here love that. They love it. They're coming up and they are showing up at every live stream you pop off, especially when you're claiming that somebody's coming, you know, the bad guy's coming. They're
Yeah.
tuning
Right.
in. They're tuning in.
And they give you real money. They give you big
Oh
money.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Their
Oh yeah.
donations are not small in some
Yeah.
cases, which is scary to me. That I mean, I understand if we had an actual issue. I don't know if we've ever asked for money from our subscribers for any specific
For a
thing.
specific thing?
Sometimes we may mention donations, but I couldn't
I
imagine
don't
being
think so.
like
I don't know.
having a scenario where I'm specifically asking people to help me with this situation. I don't know if I could live with myself.
Well, Ziggy's taken in money to and stating it's for one thing and then using it for another, which is a scam. She's done that a couple of times. She's also taken money from, you know, Cindy was a big victim of hers. And I'm gonna mention Cindy every time because it was more than $8,000 that Cindy, you know, targeted and or that Ziggy took advantage of Cindy and she targeted her. It had been happening for a long time. And a lot of us on the outside were in, you know, out on the outside watching, saying, Cindy, you know, when you see the light, we'll be
Right.
here. And unfortunately, what it took for her to see the light was to literally be robbed. She got robbed.
Mhm.
What do you mean she got
And
robbed?
oh, Ziggy took a she took it. You don't know the story?
I
When
don't.
Jim died, that's where the full U-Haul came from. Ziggy went live and she went live from a U-Haul place and she needed a vehicle. She needed to rent a vehicle first and then it turned in she went down there to get this U-Haul. And so everybody, her viewers were helping her pay for it because she needed to go get her medicine. Whatever her medicine was, it was that important for her to go to U-Haul at night and her phone was dying and she was live and Jim just died and she was screaming and squealing at the top of her lungs and crying and she didn't know what she was going to do without Jim. That night was the first night that she ever talked to one of her moderators who had supported her for a long time with thousands and thousands of dollars, not hundreds, thousands.
Mhm.
That she had talked to Cindy on the phone. And as soon as she got Cindy on the phone, she laid it on thick. And Cindy, who is somebody who's like Nana, you know, has a big heart. If you tell her there's something wrong, she's a fixer, right? She
Right.
right away was like, well, I don't have any money, but I do have a Venmo credit card that you can use. You can use it to get your car fixed, pay your rent, whatever you're going to need through this
Okay.
time. I know what it's because Cindy knows what it's like, right? Loss, grief and loss is a very
Yeah.
big thing,
Yeah.
right? And Ziggy's claiming she doesn't have anybody, no family. Her dad was on a cruise. Her mom was 3 hours away. That's where the whole dad on the cruise thing comes from. But she ended up maxing that credit card out in 2 weeks with DoorDash, jail phone calls, and sending herself $5,000 to her own PayPal before Cindy finally came to her senses during this time and went to her friends and told her friends what she had done. And not at that point, it was found out that Ziggy had also got Cindy's social security number and tried to get the amount high, you know, where you call to get a credit so you can see if you can get it to go up. She actually did that as well. So yeah,
So she eventually paid it back. That's what people are saying in the chat.
she did. She did.
All but
She had
$300.
to. All but $300. Yeah.
Okay. Cindy has woken up. She's like out of there
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Yeah.
for her. Good for Cindy. If she's out there, I'm sorry.
Cindy's living her best life
Yeah.
on the coast and she doesn't spend a lot of time on YouTube anymore. And I actually, I mean, I miss her, but I'm glad, you know what I mean? Because yeah, people target individuals like that here. And yeah.
And again, this isn't just a Ziggy thing. This is other channels do this, don't they?
Oh, she's off.
Oh yeah, there's yeah, there's a lot of them.
This is common in true crime. Maybe not even just true crime, but it's common. People looking for ways to make money through YouTube.
Right.
And using, the hard part is using these cases. Jen, you got $20 for coffee? I didn't know that.
I did. Thank you, Touch of Class. I just seen it today and I was like, yeah. This is coffee and sugar. What do you mean?
Right.
I don't know about you. You mentioned this in your live the other night, and I feel the same way. So someone the other night asked for our PayPal. Actually, she emailed us saying, hey, could you send us our PayPal? I didn't respond because I feel guilty. I feel really guilty. I don't know if these people are like only on
Well,
social
no,
media.
you did the right thing. You did the right thing because right there, that's a, you know, I don't know. I don't know even if that's the right thing. If you are getting tipped for what you do here, Ryan, you have every right to be tipped. Both you guys have every right to get donations and be tipped just like everybody else. The thing is when you target people who you know in your heart are vulnerable, will give it, you know what I mean?
Oh,
You
yeah,
target
Actually,
them.
yeah.
That's when it's when it's very different. Also,
Right.
you just said something about accepting large donations. One of the largest donations I ever got was a computer, and that was from somebody who was like close friends. So that it's still very hard when you want to you want to be supported, right? You deserve to be supported, but you don't want to be like these people. But I think it's pretty simple that the intention is clear, right? There's no fucking way that I would take a credit card, take somebody's credit card and max it out in 2 weeks. Not only, just think about this. She didn't just max it out, you guys. She bought she spent money like she was never going to pay it back. And this was supposed to be a loan, by the way. She wasn't just like, here, take all of my money and never pay it back. Cindy said, here, you can use this for things that you need and you can pay me back in payments, right?
Right.
She took advantage of that. And I can't imagine doing such a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I now, you know, that's a really good way to draw the line in the sand is so long as you're not intentionally asking for it and begging for it and targeting people for it. And if somebody is willingly coming to you and saying, hey, I want to support what you do, then it's okay and you don't have to feel guilty about it.
No, and also like if you're doing it all the time, I know a certain creator right now that's doing like has had a fundraiser or a wish list every other month. And I'm not look, not little fundraisers. I'm talking about $10,000, $5,000. And she's been doing it for 4 or 5 years. And she's in true, you know, she says she's true crime, but does the same thing. And she makes people feel bad. She's always the victim. You know, she's always saying that she's being dogpiled and people are harassing her and they're stalking her. Same thing, same narrative. And guess what happens? It works. It works every time, every single time. It blows me away. So that's something like I have to be very careful. I myself have been, there's been times in my life where I've been like, I could use some support right now, but you won't go on YouTube and I mean, crying and like snotting on yourself and like, you know what I mean? And making a complete fool out of yourself when you come to realize that most of the time these people don't even need it. That's the difference too. Like say that you actually needed help. Say that you guys just say tomorrow you wake up and your house is being foreclosed on and you're about to be on the street. Your children are about to be homeless and you need help and you have a community and you've never gone to them and asked them, but you make a GoFundMe and you go to them and you say, you know what? I need help.
Right.
I would be okay with that as long as you're not fucking lying, right?
Not lying.
There's a difference, and these people do that. They will lie and they will put like minimal effort into when they're raising money. They'll write gifts and goes that just are misspelled and just it's like they're entitled, you know, they're entitled.
You all have picked up, you and Tragedy Pimps and others have picked up on a pattern that I just cracked up the other night when you were saying, what was it, the birthday grift? there's certain holidays and birthdays and times of the year when it always happens. And you picked up on the pattern of how it always happens at a certain time of the year.
It does. It does.
You know,
Oh, shoot, it was my birthday.
you could have
What?
grifted.
Oh,
Man,
I missed it.
You know
But
what
that-
I do on my birthday to count it when I first started? Well, every
What?
year, when I first started, I was like, I see this bitch over here every time she has a birthday or her daughter has a birthday coming on here and begging for money, begging for gifts every holiday. I'm going to come on here on 420 and we're going to all celebrate together and I'm going to give money away. And no, I don't give a lot of money away. I don't make you know what I mean? But I take whatever I get, about half of my paycheck the month before, and I give it back to my subs. Just like every time I reach 1,000 subs. That's why I said when we reached 6K the other night, well, I'll do the 420 and the 6K giveaway in one and I'll save some money.
Oh, there you go.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess
I think it boils down to intentions is the answer.
that
It really
that helps.
does.
That really helps because I have been thinking about this quite a bit ever since just hearing your story, listening to your channel, and you and Tragedy Pimps Exposed have absolutely just made me really start thinking about ethics and what covering these cases. And to me, that what you just said, I think helps a lot with it's your intention and it's how you go about doing it. It's not constant. It's not a constant like fabricating something every month or every other month that requires people to donate to you. It's just doing what you do. And sometimes if people are openly and willing and not from you asking them to supporting you, then it's okay and you don't have to feel guilty about it.
No, and I have to say in the past, there's been many times, even like Ziggy will bring up my chair. When she brings up my chair, I'm like, damn, man, I had a bit of guilt about that because it was when I first started my channel and a mod came in and was like, we want to raise money to get SixUp chair. You know how much I love this damn chair? Carried this chair through the whole coast down here with me and made sure it was stuffed into my mom's van to take it. I love this thing. And that's another thing. It's about intention. I would never take anything that somebody gave me like that and not be grateful and not be, I am like humbled when somebody comes in and like the other day I got gifted memberships. That shit feels good. You need to let that, you know what I mean? We work hard for that kind of stuff and we don't get the kind of support that some of these grifters and because that's what they're doing. That's their job.
Yeah.
Right. That's
They're 24 hours, you know?
I'll tell you, SixUp, it blows my mind. Like and this isn't saying anything against our subscribers. We love our community. They are the most supportive people just emotionally. And just when we're going through hard times, the positive comments are through the roof. I can't imagine, like I watch some of these channels doing these lives and it's like $20 super chat, $100 super chat, $50 super chat. I'm like, holy shit, how in the world?
And why?
And what type of people? I mean, I understand donating to someone you believe in, but they're sitting at a computer talking about it. I don't get it. I just don't. And I don't know if I'd even want that.
No, I wouldn't.
I don't think you're
I
ever
want
going to understand it. And you're going to, unfortunately, now that you're, you'll see it now that you see it, you know what I mean? You're going to see it a lot more. You'll see how they, like I said, they target certain people as they know that they're donors. When they come in, they
target them.
Yeah.
You're my best friend. There's my best friend. And shit like that. Like, and it's just so obvious that these people don't actually care about their people. You know what I mean? And like, okay, let me just say this. Ziggy says, she just said, and I know she was talking about some of the people that recently left. I'm not going to mention their names. It doesn't matter. But she said that the reason why these people probably just, stopped liking her or whatever is because she stopped reaching out to check on them. And she's like, there's only one of me and there are hundreds of you. I cannot stand that excuse. I have a lot of people that are in my community now, way more than when I first started. And a lot of friends now, more friends than I've ever had in my entire life. And when she said that, it wasn't genuine. She is not a friend. She wouldn't care if you were, if somebody was dying, literally, she wouldn't care. She would just want to know if you were sending them her a cash app. Right. And that's all she cares about. And person after person after person after person, you know, comes to me and has that to say. And I don't even show it all. Just so
Yeah.
we're clear. Like you know how
Mhm.
many live streams I could get out of just one person that recently left texting and Cash App interactions with Ziggy? I mean, we could have probably a whole series.
I've got
And
to.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I got to call out Mary. She's done this a couple times in this chat.
I was afraid that was going to happen.
She's making a point. This is the
okay.
second time she's donated.
Okay.
Thank you, Mary.
I was afraid that all was going to happen.
Yeah, because I was talking about super chat. Thank you so much. You're so
Thank
funny.
you.
We appreciate you. It's to wrap this up. It comes down to, in my opinion, it's not. Yes, we've talked about Ziggy because Ziggy has been the what's the right word? She has been offender in SixUp's life, in her case, in this whole situation that happened to her, and what drove her to really honestly do this amazing thing she does, where she exposes people who exploit these cases. And I think every horrible thing in life, every bad thing that happens to us, a lot of times in the end, you look back and you realize that it created something beautiful, it created something productive, and you are doing something right now, in my opinion, that is going to help people wake up, recognize the difference between a channel that is trying to do the right thing and a channel that is trying to simply exploit. And I appreciate you for that. I can't believe I'm saying this because we hated her so much at the beginning, but Tragedy Pimps Exposed. Don't say
that about me. I didn't know.
I was so mad at her. I was so mad at her. I thought she had an agenda, but I'm seeing it now. I'm understanding the difference, and what you both do, I appreciate it, and I really pray that you never, ever stop exposing these people, ever.
Well, let me follow that with saying thank you. But I'd also like to say to you that I got a real feel, like I said, for what you actually do. When I found out that you were doing searches and you weren't like live streaming them, you weren't filming it. That's what that right there. That's what got me. Because I knew then that your intention was not, because if it was different, then you would have been live streaming every single interaction. You would be, you know, just like when I talk to Steve and Glenda, sometimes we have a conversation, we recorded it. I've only recorded it and say that stuff because I want to have it to go back. It's not to exploit, but you guys don't do that. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that I was friends with Glenda and Steve. And I remember the day you were coming down there and I was like, I got to stay here and protect them, you know, from the mean, bad
I don't blame you at all.
Ryan, you know what I mean? And then I was like, no, this ain't about you. You go home, bitch. Like these people, you know, and it turned into what it is. And you know what? Thank you. I was really going back and forth whether I was going to come up here at all when we were talking throughout the week, because I did not want this to make things, for one, make things worse, which doesn't really matter what we do.
No,
but I didn't want you guys to be attacked more because of me, and because I am here, you will be. It's probably already happened, and it'll probably happen a little bit more. But I appreciate you taking that, what could be, no matter what, and saying, fuck that. I support that. And I want to hear her story, because when I first came up here and you played that song, and I was sitting here thinking, and I said it when I first came up, but I really have to reiterate this. I do not want to be her victim, but I am.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I have been. And this was really important. And this has been a really good conversation. So thank you guys for having me, for real.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It has. And I will say that going forward, we are, so everyone knows, we're covering this tonight because it's important for anyone who's a subscriber of a channel like this to know, to understand what to look for, what to watch out for. And SixUp's story highlights, if you listen to this whole live, we're 2 hours now. If you listen to her story, it will give you things to look for. If you're in a community that you're getting feelings like it's toxic and like there's something wrong,
right?
Look at her story and understand that you're not crazy. The people around you may still be blind to the toxicity and what's happening, but you are waking up, and it's okay. And you have communities like SixUps, like Tragedy Pimp Exposed, to go to and to talk to and to be like, am I crazy?
Right.
Am I seeing things? Is this not real? And you will see that there's other people like you who've waken up, who've come to understand that it's dangerous. It's these communities, these creators.
I just want to say, don't give out your personal information.
Number one,
even if you think that you can trust somebody, don't give out your personal information. I think that can be dangerous.
And SixUp, if there's a lawsuit, I will join you in the civil. We'll join forces and funds, and we will go after this thing, and we'll destroy it.
Messages that there is going to be a suit.
I'm looking forward to it. I am so looking forward to this damn lawsuit.
I mean, she's been trying to. She tried to serve me for like 2 years. Maybe she can get it right this time.
Except you don't understand how badly I want to receive a letter from a lawyer that is working for her. I want that so bad. I want it tomorrow.
You might get it.
Please.
I don't
you know what happens in a lawsuit like that, in a civil lawsuit, you have the opportunity to countersue, and I cannot.
Yes. Well, I will tell you guys all, you can mark my words. I've said this before. If there ever got to a point where that did happen, I will countersue, but it will only be for $1.
$1?
I want to make a point because she probably doesn't even have $1, Ryan. Let's keep it real. She has to beg for Diet Coke. Anyway, if there's a lawsuit, somebody else is paying for it. So
probably, yeah. Anyway, SixUp, you are. I can't believe I'm saying this, because 6 months ago I never would have said this, and I have changed my entire perspective on what you all do. It's not just you. You have friends, the Jerks, Eliza, you guys, Pearl. Oh my God, I love watching your channel. I love watching you guys now because I understand what you're fighting against, all of you, and I want to support it. This will be the last live we talk about this woman. Honestly, we don't cover this content. I'm not covering this content. I know Tragedy Pimp Exposed in a comment once said, "Hey Ryan, every week you should cover like these tragedy pimps, like these people who exploit." And it's not what we do. We want to cover the cases. We want to cover the searches. But with that said, Jen and I 100% support what you all do. We will be active in your communities, and maybe now and then we can have conversations like this. I'm not going to shy away from it. If we lose people because we're covering tragedy pimps, whatever, that's what happens. Yep. But that's where
I mean, you made the title perfect. And like I said, if people that are here claim to be true crime, they would understand that there are many victims, not just me. And that's why we're here, is to defend them and stand up for them. And that's really what it's about. Again, I've talked about how I didn't even really want to come up. Ryan was persistent, not in a bad way, not in a bad way at all. He was persistent in a good way. He was supportive, and he was like, look, if you want to see the questions prior to, I can do that. And I really want to have you up. And I'm grateful, because 4 years ago, this would have never happened. This whole conversation would have never happened. So I appreciate it, and I will shut my mouth. Everybody have a great weekend. Get some fresh air.
Yes, yeah, you too. Have a good weekend.
It's gonna be beautiful weather, at least here in Tennessee. Thank you, SixUp. We love you for what you do and for how strong you are as a woman. Thank you. Please keep doing what you're doing. We support you
very much.
Okay, I'm gonna drop down, guys. You guys have a good weekend.
Take care.
You too. And everyone else, I know this was a hard conversation. I know this was hard. I was so hesitant to cover this type of content because so many of our wonderful subscribers, our community, just have told us we don't want drama, and this isn't drama to me.
That's why I've tried to stay away from this.
I know.
And the one, I just took this as my time to address what was really bothering me, and so
I'm glad you had a chance to make your statement.
I've been writing things to say in my brain for forever.
I know, and Jen wanted to talk about the attacks on our daughters. We've stayed silent on that for so long, and I'm glad you had a chance to vent.
Thanks for listening, guys.
And I will urge you guys again. I know a lot of people have said SixUp, Tragedy Pimp Exposed, the jerks, you know, they feel like attack channels. They feel like they're being hateful. I'm just going to urge you guys to switch your mind over to the side of thinking of these are people who are trying to, they're auditors. Every aspect of life, everything you do, people, financial institutions that spend money, you know, manufacturers who produce dangerous chemicals. Everyone needs to be audited. YouTubers need auditors. YouTubers need people to keep us. We need people to keep us honest and doing the right thing. And these people are doing important work and making sure people are honest and not hurtful and doing the right thing. And so I want to support SixUp Media, the jerks, Tragedy Pimp Exposed. I want you guys to go to their channels. Actually, after this live, I'm going to put their links in the description, and please support them. If you believe in doing the right thing in these missing persons cases, we are holding ourselves accountable. We're going to try to do the right thing according to how they describe the way to do things, and it's the right thing to do as a creator. We went to CrimeCon, and there was a whole seminar, there was a whole session on ethical reporting of missing persons cases. And it hit us hard. It hit us really hard.
Yeah, it taught us a lot.
We had a long discussion about it, and it's important to do the right thing. So we're grateful. We are grateful for all of you. We're grateful for our subscribers. Thank you for everyone who donated tonight.
Everybody.
We had a bunch.
I was afraid that was gonna happen.
Yeah, we had a bunch of donations. Thank you all. Thank you to our members who support us every single month. It does help support. I just got a new vehicle, not new. It's like 100,000 miles, but I'm going to show you guys.
New to us.
I'm going to show you guys the replacement of the Jeep. I love it. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to share with you all. It's a Nissan Xterra, and I love it. I love it. It's an Xterra. I'm going to share with you guys
saying that
soon. Thank you, SixUp. You are a wonderful person. Please keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, the jerks. Thank you, Tragedy Pimp Exposed. Hope you all have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. Get out there with the beautiful weather, sunshine. Probably Sunday is going to be more beautiful, but we'll see.
Yeah, you think?
Get out there. Oh, thank you.
Yay,
thank you for joining as a new member. Appreciate you. And don't even go to the other channels and look for the back and forth. There's not going to be a back and forth. There's going to be a response from whatever. We're not responding anymore, you guys. We got work to do this weekend. We got cases to cover. We got places to search. And we are going to be focused on that from now on.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure about it. We're
not gonna be talking about this anymore. So love you all. Have a great weekend. Stay positive, stay safe. We love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.